Hello, virtual audience. I'm so happy to see you this year. My name is Alex Robinson. I am the Fan Network Events Manager, and I wanted to pop in here for just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So we want to invite you to join us in the chat. You'll find it right here on the right side of your screen. This is the place to be tonight. All you need is a free YouTube account called a channel. Click sign in at the top right corner and follow the instructions to create your channel and join the chat. Make sure you find the emojis for extra fun. Click the gray smiley face right below the chat box to expand the emoji panel. If you want access to closed captioning, click the CC button at the bottom of the YouTube page, or one of our helpful volunteers will drop a direct link into the chat if you need it. If you need help at any point tonight with donating or with using the YouTube chat, we have volunteers available to help. Simply just email FAN, F-A-N, at fanwa.org, FANWA.org, and someone will be there to help. You can always also ask for help in the chat. Now that you've found the emojis, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and how you're celebrating tonight. We'd love to see you in the program with us too. Right now you can submit a selfie or a group photo of those watching you. Text it to the number on your screen with your name and location to join the show and see yourself with people across the state. Now let's find that applause button because you're going to use it plenty tonight. Hello, virtual audience. I'm so happy to see you this year. My name is Alex Robinson. I am the Fan Network Events Manager, and I wanted to pop in here for just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So we want to invite you to join us in the chat. You'll find it right here on the right side of your screen. This is the place to be tonight. All you need is a free YouTube account called a channel. Click sign in at the top right corner and follow the instructions to create your channel and join the chat. Make sure you find the emojis for extra fun. Click the gray smiley face right below the chat box to expand the emoji panel. If you want access to closed captioning, click the CC button at the bottom of the YouTube page, or one of our helpful volunteers will drop a direct link into the chat if you need it. If you need help at any point tonight with donating or with using the YouTube chat, we have volunteers available to help. Simply just email fan, F-A-N, at fanwa.org, F-A-N-W-A.org, and someone will be there to help. You can always also ask for help in the chat. Now that you've found the emojis, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and how you're celebrating tonight. We'd love to see you in the program with us too. Right now you can submit a selfie or a group photo of those watching you. Text it to the number on your screen with your name and location to join the show and see yourself with people across the state. Now let's find that applause button because you're going to use it plenty tonight. virtual audience. I'm so happy to see you this year. My name is Alex Robinson. I am the Fan Network Events Manager, and I wanted to pop in here for just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So we want to invite you to join us in the chat. You'll find it right here on the right side of your screen. This is the place to be tonight. All you need is a free YouTube account called a channel. Click sign in at the top right corner and follow the instructions to create your channel and join the chat. Make sure you find the emojis for extra fun. Click the gray smiley face right below the chat box to expand the emoji panel. If you want access to closed captioning, click the CC button at the bottom of the YouTube page, or one of our helpful volunteers will drop a direct link into the chat if you need it. If you need help at any point tonight with donating or with using the YouTube chat, we have volunteers available to help. Simply just email fan, F-A-N, at fanwa.org, fanwa.org, and someone will be there to help. You can always also ask for help in the chat. Now that you've found the emojis, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and how you're celebrating tonight. We'd love to see you in the program with us too. Right now you can submit a selfie or a group photo of those watching you. Text it to the number on your screen with your name and location to join the show and see yourself with people across the state. Now let's find that applause button because you're going to use it plenty tonight. virtual audience. I'm so happy to see you this year. My name is Alex Robinson. I am the Fan Network Events Manager, and I wanted to pop in here for just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So we want to invite you to join us in the chat. You'll find it right here on the right side of your screen. This is the place to be tonight. All you need is a free YouTube account called a channel. Click sign in at the top right corner and follow the instructions to create your channel and join the chat. Make sure you find the emojis for extra fun. Click the gray smiley face right below the chat box to expand the emoji panel. If you want access to closed captioning, click the CC button at the bottom of the YouTube page, or one of our helpful volunteers will drop a direct link into the chat if you need it. If you need help at any point tonight with donating or with using the YouTube chat, we have volunteers available to help. Simply just email fan, F-A-N, at fanwa.org, F-A-N-W-A.org, and someone will be there to help. You can always also ask for help in the chat. Now that you've found the emojis, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and how you're celebrating tonight. We'd love to see you in the program with us too. Right now you can submit a selfie or a group photo of those watching you. Text it to the number on your screen with your name and location to join the show and see yourself with people across the state. Now let's find that applause button because you're going to use it plenty tonight.
Thank you. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. I can feel it in the room. Please finish getting your food. Get yourself an extra drink or 2 or 3. At our stations on either side of the room and find your way to your tables. Our program is about to begin, and I promise you tonight, you won't want to miss a minute. evening again. I'm delighted to be back with you. I'll tell you what will make me feel a little comfortable. In our local congregation, we have a tradition. Whenever I come to the mic, I get to say something and then you say it back. Let's practice. This is what I would say if I were at my home congregation. Hello, family. All right, now we're all family in here tonight, and it's going to be a good time. We're so excited to be connected by Livestream to our Spokane and other online guests. Wherever you are joining us from, how you doing? Wherever you're joining us from, we welcome you, and we're glad that we are here together to support Faith Action Network. As a fan board member and your MC for this evening, I joined the work as Bishop and Pastor at Kingdom Family Worship Center and the Provost Fellow for Ecumenical Relations at Seattle University. At our local church, I hear some SU in the house. That's it. That's what I want to hear. At our local church, music is the heartbeat of our gathering, and we want to begin tonight with some music as well. I'd like to welcome to the stage some of our outstanding musical artists that'll be joining us tonight, put together just for this celebration. So please welcome Aaron Norman on the keys, David Tyler Gomes, and no, that's not right. David is on keys, and Aaron is gonna sing. Come on, let's celebrate them.
In a little tent, oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. 'Cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there's been times that I thought I Oh, yes, it will. I said, I know a change gonna come.
Thank you so much for that musical inspiration. I promise you there's much more of that to come this evening. Aren't you excited? We truly do believe a change is going to come, and that hope for change is at the heart of our theme tonight, United in Hope. Unity in purpose is what we are striving for in our multi-faith statewide advocacy called Faith Action Network. And hope is what keeps us moving forward even when that hope is dim. We hold on to it, trusting that a change is going to come. If I were at my church, I would just tell you to look over at your neighbor and tell them, neighbor. Oh, y'all are getting the hang of it now. Neighbor, a change is going to come. So if you're feeling disheartened by the challenges and the violence that are all around us now, I want you to know that you're welcome here. We are living in a season of extremes and polarities and polemics. But if you are breathing tonight, you need to know that despite all of that, you are welcome in this space. When I was sharing with the board, they began to tell me exactly who would be welcome in the space. And they wanted me to know that folks that had experienced anti-Semitism and Islamophobia in recent weeks and throughout the year, you're welcome here. You're welcome here. If your community has been targeted by white Christian nationalists across our state for your open and affirming stance for the queer community this year, you're welcome here. Yeah. If you experience racial and cultural discrimination just living every day in your embodiment, you are welcome here. If you have hope for a different future, you're welcome here. If you were dragged along by a friend and you're only here for dinner and celebration, you're welcome here. Most of all, if you're curious about Faith Action Network and the work that we do together for policy change on many issues, we want you to know you're welcome here. We may not be united in everything, but we certainly are united in hope for a change that's going to come. Yeah. On behalf of our multi-faith network, I'd like to invite to the stage leaders in Fans Network to ground us in prayer and blessing. Imam Yaha Sufi is a FAN board member and executive director of Muslim American Youth Foundation in Burien. I believe that Rabbi Jason Levine, who is a FAN board member and most recently served as a rabbi at Temple Beth Am in Seattle, had a little bit of automobile hiccup. Most of us that have been driving longer than a week have had an automobile hiccup. So whenever he arrives, we'll ask him to come at that time. But at this time, we would love to receive our imam for our opening prayer.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace be unto you. Shalom alaikum. In the name of God, creator of the universe, God of all people, Let us pray. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most compassionate, the most merciful, may his peace and blessings be on his messengers, his prophets, and all of those who follow their blessed path. O God of Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, we are gathered together this evening and call on your guidance and blessing. We pray that we acknowledge our differences, come to common ground, and work together toward the good of all. We pray for peace, love, and unity. We seek refuge in you from war, hate, and division. O God, guide us to truth and justice, no matter who it is for or against. Grant us genuineness, benevolence, and protect us from hypocrisy and hindrance. We ask you to shine your light upon us today as we remember and honor all innocent lives lost and mourn those who lost their loved ones around the globe. Grant comfort to those grieving and safe return to all those separated from their homes and families. We pray that you fill us with courage to stand up against aggression, oppression, and injustice, regardless of who it is by or against. We ask you to grant us conviction to empower and elevate voices of the oppressed and distressed, eradicate racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, xenophobia, and hatred that seek to divide us, and establish peace, safety, love, and equality for all in our communities. O Lord, originator of the universe, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the knower of all hidden and the unseen, and the unseen and seen, guide us to that which is right and good as we advocate for peace and justice together as multi-faith coalition. For verily you guide whom you will to a straight path. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Imam. At this time, we are going to join a group of friends gathered in Spokane to share a land acknowledgement and a word of hope. Let's say hello to our Spokane friends.
There are about 70 of us here. Did you hear them? We are gathered at the Thrive Center, where we welcome refugees from across the world. We provide transitional housing, women empowerment, and youth programs in this former hotel in downtown Spokane. Hope abounds here 24 hours a day as we empower multicultural communities to thrive. I'd like now to invite to come forward the Reverend Lee Larson Andrews, who was the pastor at Salem Lutheran, no longer, but that is one of our network advocating faith communities. He's now the director of the Evangelical Mission with the Northwest Intermountain Synod of the ELCA. It's a big title you have there. He will share a land acknowledgement in a moment. Then after that, the Reverend, the very Reverend, Heather Van Deventer, Dean of St. John's Episcopal Cathedral, another network advocating faith community, will share a few words on hope.
Thank you. Grace, peace, and hope to you all. We want to begin by respectfully acknowledging that we gather on the unceded tribal lands of the Spokane tribe and all of the Plateau Salish tribes here in Spokane, and on the Duwamish tribe land in Renton, and across our state on all the lands of the 29 federally recognized tribes and those that are unrecognized federally as well, and those still seeking recognition. We honor all these peoples, past and present, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. With many of you, we seek to counter the impact of the doctrine of discovery and the boarding schools and face the truth about colonization. We commit to centering the voices and solutions of Indigenous people in our own communities and across this state. And we pledge to work together toward justice and healing. Thank you. A few words on hope from Dean Heather.
Thank you, Lee. It is an honor to be with you all who are joining us from Renton and to be with friends here in Spokane and to remind us about hope. So starting out of the Christian tradition, Paul writes to the Romans, "We boast in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit that has been given to us." We remember that the pathway to hope is not one that is always easy. It is not one that is always easy for us to tread. It is not always one that is easy for us to endure. We turn to the Psalms and are reminded of hope as well. Psalm 42 says, "Why are you downcast, O my soul, and why do you stir within me? Hope to God, for I will yet thank God for the salvations of his presence." In the Quran, in one of our sister traditions of the book, in the 2nd chapter, it is said, "O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patient." We are reminded in many things that we have to walk that road that feels long, but that we know at the end. We know at the end that what we have been working for and what we have been hoping for shall come, especially when we work together, especially when we work together across the differences that we as humans have drawn, when you and I reach across to stand with one another. I think about the various traditions that are here in this room, here in Spokane, as well as the various traditions that are together in Renton. We stand shoulder to shoulder, although the world would want to push us apart, and we stand shoulder to shoulder because we have that hope. We have that hope for the world being able to be that beloved community that doesn't just say that we're the beloved community, but that does the hard work together to be the beloved community. Out of a book of prayers that we have in our house, Prayers and Blessings, called Bright as the Stars, it has this small word from the Buddha that is small but powerful. The right moment. There is only one moment in time when it is essential to awaken. That moment is now. I would expand on that to say for us, with our theme of hope tonight and that change that is going to come, that there is just that one moment for us to be in that hope, and for us and for that change that is to come. That moment is now. Thank you.
And back to Renton.
Well, let's say thank you to our Spokane friends. Looks like they're having a great celebration over there as well. We would like to take a moment and pause to acknowledge that tomorrow is Trans Day of Remembrance, and we are especially mindful of our trans siblings who have died or those that feel their lives are at risk. We know that there are more than 500 proposed bills across the nation intended to suppress trans rights and well-being. May we always co-create safety for all our persons in all our communities. Can we just celebrate for a moment Trans Day of Remembrance? Okay, are you ready to have some fun? It's fun time. For those of you that are tuning in from your homes, we would love to see you in the program in the room with us. Right now, you can submit a selfie or a USSI group photo for those watching with you and text it to the number on the screen with your name and location to join the show and see yourself with people across the state. We'll share a little bit more from that selfie harvest in a few moments. But this is our way of gathering together in true hybrid style, right? Now, if you're in the room and you are at the table with good-looking people, right? Only pull your camera out if you're at a table with good-looking people. But if you're in the room at a table with good-looking people, would you take a selfie or an USSI, a group photo? We want you to text all of these photos to 313-466-4091. That's 313-466-4091. Yes. Let me see all of those smiles. What a good-looking room. I see you, table 6. Table 23, I don't see any cameras. Pastor sees you. All right, I'm in table 6 now. I feel better already. You all are looking good. What a good-looking group of folks that have gathered tonight. So now we want to make sure you're ready to celebrate with us. First of all, feel free to get up throughout the program for more food and drink. Whenever you feel the need to refresh yourself, please make sure you do that. I want everybody to know where the restrooms are. They're right behind me. And you're going to hear from our speakers, travel author and fan supporter Rick Steves, and Representative Mylin Tai. I mean, some of y'all are doing professional photo shoots. You gotta love it. I want for you to know that this is FAN's major fundraiser for the year. And our goal tonight is to raise $160,000 or 1/3 of our annual budget. I'm going to say it again so you can hear me real well. Our goal is to raise $160,000 tonight or 1/3 of our annual budget. Why don't we just make it $200,000? Just make it $200,000. I believe it's in the room. We'll talk later in the program about how you can do that. But think now how much you might give to work toward unity and hope with us tonight. We'll give you a chance in a little bit to give one of 3 ways. You'll be able to give online, you'll be able to give by writing a check, or if you'd like to make a donor-advised contribution or gift of stock, you can let us know that as well. I'll repeat those ways. You can give online, you can give by writing a check, or if you'd like to make a donor-advised contribution or gift of stock, we'll also let you know. Now, if we could draw our minds in just for a moment and focus in together. I know we're having so much fun. I shouldn't have turned you loose with those cameras. You would think a college professor would know better. Guess I haven't learned yet. I come from a culture of honor, and I was taught early on in my ministry that before you really get into the meat of your message, it's only appropriate to say thank you to a few folk in the room. We would have to get up and say things like, first giving honor to God, who's the head of our life, and to the pastor and his lovely wife, which sometimes was subjective. And then we would say thank you to the church mother and thank you to the deacons and to all of, Well, this is the part of the program where I do all the honorifics. Is that okay? We'd first like to thank our matching sponsor, Rick Steves. Thank you, Rick. We're delighted that he's here in person with us tonight, and we'll be hearing a bit from him later. We'd like to thank our year-round sustainers who give us hope all year long and keep fans strong. The ELCA Church of America, the ELCA synods in Northwest Washington, Southwest Washington, and Northwestern Intermountain. Bishop Shelley Wee is here in the room with us. So good to see you, friend. We'd like to thank the Presbyterian Hunger Programs of the PCUSA and University Christian Church Legacy Foundation. Amen. The Pacific Northwest Conference of the United Methodist Church, and Bishop Bridgeforth is in the room. I'd like to say thank you to them. The Episcopal Diocese of Olympia, the Pacific Northwest Conference of the UCC, Plymouth United Church of Christ. I think I saw Pastor Kelly. I know I did. There she is. Good to see you, my friend. Yes. We'd also like to thank our Catalyst for Change, the UFCW 3000, SEIU number 6, and University Congregational United Church of Christ. Thought I saw Pastor Steve Jerby. Thank you so much, friend. And we thank our advocates for justice, Sisters of Providence, Mother Joseph Province, Kelsha Garment Center, Keystone United Church of Christ, Temple Bethlehem, that's right, make noise, the Episcopal Diocese of Spokane, the Muslim Association of Puget Sound, MAPS, the Washington Federation of State Employees, Steve Callett and Jennifer Parker, Daryl E. Grothus family, John J. and Barbara Dad Schaefer. Let's give them all a hand. We are grateful to all our sponsors, including these messengers of hope that appear on the slides. Oh yeah, you can celebrate them. And we want to celebrate our movement builders who are also appearing on the screen at this time. That's it. We're very grateful for those of you who are table hosts tonight in Renton and Spokane who invited your friends and helped spread the word about FAN. Can we celebrate our table hosts? We're gathered here because of you. The room is filled because of you. Thank you. You can find all the names and logos of our sponsors on our event website at fanwa.org. And now I'd like to welcome to the stage our FAN board chair and my friend, Carol Jensen.
I wish you could see all of yourselves right now. This is a glorious, glorious sight. Recent weeks have been such a challenging time for some of our fan faith communities and for interfaith work more broadly. I want to just put it out on our tables that there's pain and sorrow in this room tonight. And just want to name that. But we are here today, and we are leaning into the hope that unites us. And as one fan staff said at the registration table, she says, this is really kind of a miracle. Some of you may remember my late husband, Ron Young, who received one of FAN's Interfaith Leadership Awards some years back for his 35 years of working with American Muslims, Jews, and Christians for Israeli-Palestinian peace. I think he would say to us today, hang on to the relationships that you have built. Listen to each other. Care for one another, especially when you disagree. We have other important work before us tonight that we do together as FAN, as people of many faiths, that is so important for the well-being of people in this state. And our very identity as a multi-faith organization is a powerful witness in a society where demagoguery continues to rise and threaten our democracy. Hang on to each other, even when it's hard. The world needs FAN, and it needs us strong. I am honored to pass the mic, the podium, to FAN's executive director, Elise DeGoyer. I have to say, her gracious, strong, and steady leadership keeps FAN on course in the midst of turbulent waters. What a blessing she is. Please give a huge hand.
Y'all are gonna make me cry. Y'all are gonna make me cry, but we'll get through. Thank you so much, Carol. I've appreciated your discernment and leadership for FAN, especially these weeks. We do need to keep FAN strong now. It has meant so much to us as we prepared for tonight that 340 people right here in Renton, 70 in Spokane, 60 or more online, all chose to show up. Show up for justice, show up for multi-faith collaboration in our state. Showing up makes all the difference and gives us hope. I want to acknowledge other board members who are in the room tonight. Please stand for a minute so we can thank you for keeping FAN's mission moving forward. Sabia Khan, all the way from the Tri-Cities. Reverend Nigel Tabor Hamilton. Anila Afzali. Imam Yahya Sufi. Carolyn Stevens. Where are you? There she is. Yay. Andrea Sirocco Nar. Dr. Jasmeet Singh. Rabbi Jason Levine, who made it, and you're going to hear from him.
Reverend Carol Jensen, Reverend Jim Castro-Lang, who you heard from over in Spokane, and of course, Reverend Dr. Edward Donaldson, who we're so thrilled is just holding us together here tonight as MC. I also want to thank our fan staff who have been working really hard these weeks to make tonight happen. They have hosted cluster meetings all across our state this fall too, connecting with advocates and carrying out our mission. Please stand so we can recognize you too. Our new events manager, Alex Robinson, who is holding all the production details together, and who invited our musical guests tonight. We just love the music that you've brought. Thank you. From the Seattle office, Blake Alford, Tomo Duke, Elizabeth Dickinson, and Nora Percival have been working hard to make this night special for you. Regional organizers Brianna Diltz and Jess Ingman are hosting in Spokane. You'll hear from them soon. Eric Don Anderson is present with watch parties in Yakima and the Tri-Cities. Do send a picture. And Kristen Eng has just been busy with all our coalition partners to pull our legislative agenda together for 2024. We'll hear more about that next. I also want to thank Trevor Sanderson, who volunteers every week for us at the legislature and has for years. Thank you. And the volunteers who are with us tonight have given us hope too. We could not do any of this without volunteers, so thank you. Thank you to Live Oak Studios, our tech team here in the room in Renton, and Jake Burley in Spokane, who make our hybrid dreams possible. We never knew we could go back and forth across the state so easy. And we especially appreciate the staff here at Renton Pavilion, Mariah and team, for their warm hospitality. Thank you all. When we chose our theme, United in Hope, several months ago, we had no idea that our hope would be so challenged in the weeks leading up to tonight. But we come from many traditions, and all our traditions care about justice. FAN seeks to find the common ground where we can take action together. This is hard work sometimes. This work calls for courage and compassion. I believe we are united in hope. Hope for all the things we advocate for at the state level, a conviction that justice and equity can and should be realized in our communities. Finding our unity rooted in hope is a powerful force. I'm reminded of Buddhist activist Joanna Macy's words in her book called Active Hope. She said, "Active hope is a practice. Like Tai Chi or gardening, it is something we do rather than have. Since active hope doesn't require optimism, we can apply it in areas where we feel hopeless. The guiding impetus is our intention. We choose what we aim to bring about, act for, or express." So, we've left this postcard at your seats. We hope you will write a short note of hope tonight, something you might hear that strikes you, something you might hear in the music. Our board member, Sabia, suggested that we could write messages of empathy and support to people or faith communities that have been targets of hate in our state. Whenever an act of anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-LGBTQ violence happens in our communities, we will bundle these up and send them for you. Or maybe you want to write a note to the governor, sharing some active hope about the values you'd like to see expressed in his supplemental budget proposal next month. Sign them if you like or not. Leave the cards in your manila
folders at the tables, and we'll share your notes with others through the months ahead. As we move towards unity and hope together, I'd like to end with these lines from poet Denise Levertov, who, as you might know, lived at the end of her life near the shores of Lake Washington. Excuse me. She said in a poem called For the New Year, 1981, that was a while ago, we know, but she said, I have a small grain of hope, one small crystal that gleams clear colors out of transparency. I need more. I break off a fragment to send you. Please take this grain of hope so that mine won't shrink. Please share your fragment so that yours will grow. Only so, by division, will hope increase, like a clump of irises, which will cease to flower unless you distribute the clustered roots. Unlikely source, clumsy and earth-covered, of grace. We hope FAN can be like the well-rooted narcissus bulbs at your table as centerpieces, sending out shoots of hope that will bloom in the days ahead. So now I would like to welcome up to the stage Rabbi Jason Levine. Thank you.
Thank you all for your patience with your adaptability tonight. To offer a blessing of hope from the Jewish tradition, I'm actually the first to begin with a few lines from the Traveler's Prayer, which I recited as I was waiting for the mechanic. May it be your will, God and God of all, and God of no tradition, that you lead us towards peace, guide our footsteps towards peace. May we reach our destination for life, gladness, and peace. The Hebrew word for hope is tikva. More concretely translated, tikva is an expectation, something we don't yearn for, but something we make happen. Tikva is also connected Hebraically to the words rope or cord, because even in the most trying moments, when we are awash with pain, suffering, and struggle, when we crave the preservation of life and the return of free living, when it seems like our relationships with our allies may be tender or frayed like a rope, tikva will help us through. Our connections will overcome differences. Our commitments to each other and our shared destinies will not be torn. For words of tikva, of hope and expectation, for shared fates and shared future, I offer the words of writer, activist, Holocaust survivor, and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Elie Wiesel as prayer. He wrote, "One must wager on the future. I believe it is possible, in spite of everything, to believe in friendship in the world without friendship. To believe in God in the world where there's been an eclipse of God's face. Above all, we must not give in to cynicism. To save the life of a single child, no effort is too much. To make a tired old person smile is to perform an essential task. To defeat injustice and misfortune, if only for an instant, for a single victim, is to invent a new reason to hope. Just as despair can be given to me only by another human being, hope too can be given to me only by another human being. Humanity must remember that, like hope, peace is not God's gift to all creatures. Peace is a very special gift, a gift to each other. For the sake of our children and theirs, I pray, says Wiesel, that we are worthy of hope, worthy of that redemption, and some measure of peace. So let me close this now delayed prayer with the aspirational hope of Psalm 122, adapted for this gathering. Pray for the well-being of the Holy Land and all lands. May those whom we love be at peace. May there be well-being within our boundaries, peace within our homes. for the sake of our family and our friends, for the sake of our well-being, for the sake of the house of the eternal God of all faiths and those of no faiths, may we all seek the good.
Thank you, Rabbi Jason. Worth waiting for to hear your words. And now I'd like to turn it over to Fan Policy Engagement Director Kristen Eng, who will give us some tangible ways that your advocacy makes things happen across our state.
Well, good evening, fellow advocates. I'm Kristen Eng, Fans Policy Engagement Director, and thank you for being here with us tonight, and thank you so much for advocating with us through all the years. In these challenging times, when our world seems enveloped in uncertainty, suffering, and division, it is crucial that we recognize the transformative power of multi-faith advocacy. Our multi-faith coalition has the ability to transcend barriers, unite diverse communities, and instill a sense of hope that can guide us through the darkest of times. When people from different faith traditions come together, sharing common values and a commitment to justice, we amplify our collective voice and create a powerful force for positive change in Washington State and beyond. We are greater than the sum of our parts. We are stronger together. We are more impactful together. Tonight, I want to highlight the incredible work Faith Action Network has been able to do with you and because of all of you. Now, in 2023, we know that with thoughts and prayers, it actually calls for action and accountability. And that is, thank you, Don. And that is why we successfully advocated for the gun responsibility bills to stop the violence in our communities. This included the ban on the sale of assault weapons, Firearms Industry Responsibility and Gun Violence Victim Access to Justice Act, and requiring a comprehensive background check, safety training, and a waiting period to purchase firearms in Washington State. As people of faith and conscience, we value human life, and that is why we have always advocated for, and finally successful this past legislative session, for repealing the death penalty and other unconstitutional statutes in state law. And we will always be there for our immigrant brothers and sisters. And that's why we are part of the Health Equity for Immigrants campaign. And yes, that's right. This was quite a fight. This was a fight because the Senate had $0 in the beginning for this. See, I know some fellow advocates are here. And the House, we got our $110 million, and there will be health insurance for some undocumented immigrants in our state. I want to let you know how effective you are and your stories, where you are in the grassroots, and what you see. Because in 2022, there was no ask for refugee resettlement, but thousands of you, our faith communities. I see Anila here, who gave her voice and her leadership to ask for $30 million for refugee resettlement. And Rep. Ty, who helped with this, and we were able to get this money for our community. And that's what grassroots organizing in our faith communities can do. And as people of faith and conscience, we know that every child should be fed. And in 2023, we were able to get 90,000 more students to be fed. And this is the Anti-Hunger Nutrition Coalition right here on table 7. And we will never stop. In 2024, we will always always go for free school meals for all kids. Should pass it. And I see my Earth Ministry. Well, as you know, with all of these bills, passed by one organization, one person, one lobbyist. It is passed by coalition, and we work with Earth Ministry to address climate change, reduce GHG, go for environmental justice, and we will continue to do so in 2024. So thank you. So looking ahead, as we engage in the important work for advocating for justice, equality, and compassion, let us remember the common thread that runs through all faith traditions, the call to love our neighbors as ourselves, to seek justice, and to promote the well-being of all. In times of uncertainty, when the challenge we face may seem insurmountable, it is our shared values that will guide us and lead the way. By embracing these shared values, we can build a more just, compassionate society that reflects the best of our human potential. Together, we can overcome any obstacle and build together a brighter, more hopeful future for all. So here's to 2024. Thank you so much. And now we will hear from our Spokane regional organizer.
Hello again. Jim Castro-Lang here again in Spokane. When I joined the fan board about 7 years ago, there was no fan dinner here in Spokane. There were no organizers on the ground in Eastern Washington. We're working on the ground with organizers all around Eastern Washington, from Eric in Yakima to Jess in Wenatchee to Brianna here in Spokane. FAN is truly a statewide, community-based, multi-faith advocacy organization. And along with our 167 advocating faith communities, we are truly building something amazing. In a moment, you're going to hear from Jess Ingman, at least from her words, who has joined us here in Spokane. But first, Brianna Diltz, you will experience the wonder of FAN and its impact across the state as they share with you. Bree?
Thank you, Jim. As many of you know, I'm pretty new with FAN, so if I had to sum up for my first few months with FAN how hope has showed up in our work, I'd give you one word, and that word is community. As an organizer, I know that relationships are fundamental to the success of any advocacy and of any campaign. And over the last few years with COVID, we as individuals and as faith communities have been siloed and stretched thin. It's been harder than ever to maintain and build relationships, leaving us with lots of community to be rekindled. Gathering together today for this dinner, our cluster meeting here in Spokane earlier last month, and in meetings with many of you here in this room in these past few months, I feel a sense of urgency and a sense of hope around this region and uniting with others that hold the same values of compassion, justice, and sustainability. And this summer, I spent a good deal of time tabling in a number of different events across the greater Spokane area, including Spokane Pride, college events, and unity in the community. And what sticks out to me from those events isn't the long hours in the hot summer or the drizzling rain. If any of you have tabled events, you know how it goes. But it's that our message of hope and solidarity in the face of injustice and hate is such a welcome message to those whose only knowledge of faith-based advocacy might be one of divisiveness or hate or of just apathy. So thank you all for showing up for FAN, for showing up for each other, and for showing up for our state. I look forward to caring for existing relationships and building new relationships, and I hold great hope to see those relationships move to action when we unite our powerful voices this January and advocate for our shared vision of a more just Washington. So, thank you all. Right, and we have Jess here from Wenatchee, but she came all this way and is battling laryngitis. So I'll be sharing her words for her. So thank you for being here, Jess. She's based in Wenatchee, and I'm just going to use her words, so I especially want to give a shout out to the folks in North Central Washington joining us virtually tonight. During this first year of regional organizing in North Central Washington, it's been a lively time of deepening connections and taking action. We brought a multi-faith delegation from the 12th District to Interfaith Advocacy Day. A highlight was a very direct conversation we had with Representative Keith Gaynor, thank you, to express how our various faith traditions call us to demand gun responsibility. Christian just shared. Even though he voted against the prohibition of the sale of assault weapons, the bill was still signed into law this spring. The Health Equity for Immigrants campaign has also been a huge focus here in Wenatchee. FAN collaborates with Wenatchee Immigrant for Justice, and we were able to mobilize community members to show up at town halls during the final days of the legislative session when the budget was being decided. We were thrilled that this vital healthcare expansion received funding, and that every resident of Washington, regardless of immigration status, can purchase health care on the exchange. And we've grown from 2 to 4 advocating faith communities, and our newest group, Sunny Slope Church and Cascade Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, have been instrumental in starting the North Central Washington Interfaith Justice Coalition, a coalition of a local group of people of faith and conscience seeking to be a loving and inclusive counter-narrative to the vocal white Christian nationalism in our region. And as was shared, FAN's organizing is grounded in religion. Collaborating locally, we can build power and show up for one another, especially those who are most impacted by injustice. Thank you for your support and collaboration that makes this possible. I'm excited for the year to come. Let's go back to Brenton.
Thank you very much, Spokane. I will say to you that Faith Action Network has the hardest working staff and volunteers in the world. Can we just celebrate the staff and volunteers of Faith Action Network? What hardworking, visionary folks. I'm so excited about our first speaker tonight, our keynote. Our guest speaker is Representative Mylin Tai, who represents the 41st Legislative District in Washington, which encompasses Mercer Island, parts of Bellevue and Issaquah along the I-90 corridor. She is proud to be the first refugee elected to serve in the Washington State House of Representatives. Yeah. She sponsored some important bills that we've worked on that increase economic justice in our state, like fixes to working families' tax credit and extreme wealth tax. Yes, yes, which we do plan to revisit, by the way, and support for refugees. When she joined us for Interfaith Advocacy Day this year, she spoke our language. She talked about love being the source of our action. We invited her back to speak about how hope keeps her working for policy change. We're so glad you took the time to be with us tonight. Please welcome with me Representative Mylin Tai.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can was the first 3 words in a long time since I came to the United States in 1983 that gave me a sense of hope. here I am being able to recite that word. I hope you join me. Not only speak it, but believe it. Yes, we can. We heard from some amazing leaders in different faith. As introduced, I'm a refugee from Vietnam. I came, and actually I grew up during the wartime. And so maybe for many of you who, when you heard Vietnam War and the year 1968, it means something. For those who don't, there's Google. I was born in 1968. I came to this country not able to speak a word of English, and here I am, being able to represent 155,000 people in my district. It is such an honor. And it is also such an honor to be able to speak to you tonight, because during the first 5 years of my taking refuge in this country, I was looking for faith. I was born into Buddhism. I was raised by my grandparents. We went to Buddhist temple every week. But that's that. I was taught by my grandparent to be independent. I was taught by my grandparent to be fierce in the belief. And because of that, I did not want the idea of faith being imposed upon me if I didn't quite understand how it impacted my life. So yes, I was looking for faith. I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn multiple faiths out there. And I want to share with you my teacher, whom constantly, when I am in the moment of most difficult and despair, I reach for his book, literally any of his book, and just open, it's happened in any page, and read a few sentences in order to give me hope. And that is Thích Nhất Hạnh. In preparation for tonight's conversation with you, I have shared with my table mate how nervous I am. Because I believe each and every single one of you is the leader in your community, and not only that, your word, every single word that you utter is so powerful that you can move your congregation, that you literally can change the world. Who am I to be up here and speak to you? I talked to my daughter. She has always been my inspiration. And she asked me, what would Thích Nhất Hạnh say? I meditated on it. And to you tonight, may I start also with Thích Nhất Hạnh word. Peace is every step. And that is what I'm going to anchor my conversation with you tonight. I graduated from University of Washington School of Pharmacy, so I am a person of science. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my understanding and my learning of hope. Hope requires 3 things, according to science. 1, goal. We have to have a goal. That is the main difference between when we say, I hope you find peace, versus, I wish you find peace. That leads to the next component to hope. It has to have a pathway. I wish you find peace and it can sit there. But I hope you find peace. We got to create pathway for that to happen. And last but not least, the third component of hope is a willpower. We have to have that willpower to create pathway to achieve our goal. And that is hope. Hope, to me, is progressive. Hope is joyous. Hope is a collective power. Because I've been said earlier on this stage, no one person can move, can change, can make a difference. Collectively, we create that incredible willpower to forge the pathway so that we can achieve the goal we set forward. Then we can say we hope. Imagination is an instrument of hope. But it's not just imagination, right? We need to meet all those 3 parts to make hope hope. And really last thing I want to share with you about the nature of hope. Hope is a social gift. Hope is a social gift. Someone also on this stage have said, it's a gift we give to each other. And that require that social, that community, that communion. We do not have hope in isolation. We do not have hope when we sit alone in the dark room, hoping for a better future. That is a wish. It's not a hope. Our connectiveness, our communication, our trust that create the bond so strong that give us an opportunity and a chance for hope to happen. So last but not least, hope is an action. Hope is active. Hope requires work. And because of you, I get to be here. Because of you, I get to hope for the future in Washington State where those who has no refuge can take refuge, And I want to make sure that we choose the word refuge because it's beyond shelter. We hope those who has no health care will get health care. We hope that those who has no justice get justice. That is when we work together to move and change the environment, not just for us, but for all. And when we have peace in every step, we create a pathway for all who can and will hope. Thank you, and I look forward to work with you.
I don't know about you, but I'm leaving with a little more hope than I came in with. Thank you. Thank you, Representative, for your inspiration. Let's keep the power of hope going with just one more musical number. I promised you there would be music tonight. And now it's time for one more musical number. Please welcome to the stage Tanisha Ross, Cassio Cole, Aaron Norman, and David Tyler Gomes.
Many nights we've prayed with no proof anyone can hear. In our hearts, a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles if you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? It's hard to give. You will when you believe. This time of fear, when prayers so often proved in vain, hope seemed like the summer birds too swiftly flown away. Yet now I'm standing here with heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. When you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve? You can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. You will win. to keep. It's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. Somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. When you believe. You will when you
Good music, yes. I don't know about you, but I am completely amped up. I'm ready to go change the world. And speaking of changing the world, it is true that today the world changed just a little bit. And we would be remiss if we didn't pause to at least acknowledge the life, the legacy, the work of our former First Lady, Rosalind Carter. There are folks whose life becomes for us a rubric and a blueprint of leaving the world a better place. The Carters have become a North Star for what it means to be self-sacrificing, to hold on to hope, and to live love. Let us have a moment of silence in honor of Rosalind Carter. Thank you. Thank you. Well, coming up in the church as I did, there were all kind of little colloquialisms. And one of them comes to mind now as I introduce our next presenter. They used to tell me, son, a good steak will make its own gravy. That was their way of telling me you didn't need a lengthy introduction. I asked our next guest what it is that he would like to have shared about him. He is, of course, a travel author, a TV travel host, a faithful Lutheran, been with fans since the beginning. But when asked, what is it you would like me to say, his response was, say I'm a good guy. Welcome with me a pretty good guy, Rick Steves.
Thank you very much. I didn't know you were going to take me seriously, but I kind of like it. You know, just thinking about how Rosalind Carter and Jimmy Carter are leaving the world a better place, I was thinking about why I enjoy coming to this banquet every year. To be in a room like this, filled with people who chose not to generate a lot of income with their careers, but to work hard and make the world a better place with their careers. That's you guys. This is an amazing room. And when it comes to raising money, it's a frustrating room. because I'd rather be in a room with people who chose to raise a lot of money in their lives so that we could ask them to give a little money to help FAN. But right now, we've got people who are in the trenches doing the good work, and we're trying to support ourselves, I think. And the good news is there's no better philanthropic organization for somebody who wants to get the most mileage out of their charitable dollar to support than Faith Action Network, is there? There just can't be a better way to invest your money if you want to love your neighbor. So I did not choose a career where I would create love like all the pastors and the social workers and the great people in here, and I managed to make a fair amount of money. So what I want to do is to just declare how inspired I am every time I come here, and I'm so happy to be able to donate tonight $50,000. Well, and I want to take 5 minutes to explain why that's a joy for me, and then I would love to challenge you all collectively to do at least the same in a total. And if we do that, we'll be well on the way to meeting the goal tonight. It's a very reasonable goal. It's exciting to be here, and it's exciting to celebrate the interfaith nature of Faith Action Network. I just love that. I think we all find a sort of a joy in that. We love to go back to our corners where we're with the religion generally our parents gave us, I think. But it is so great to get out. It's kind of like travel, I think. And I was in Morocco just a couple weeks ago, and I was thinking a lot about the value of interfaith. That's one of my great joys, is traveling in the Holy Land and being in Jewish communities, to being in Muslim communities, being all over the world. And in Morocco, I learned a lot about Jewish history, because there were a lot of Jews in Spain until 1492, and then they got kicked out. And most of them went to Morocco. And I didn't realize it, but for 500 years, the Jewish community in Morocco was huge. And then when the modern state of Israel was created in the 1940s, nearly all of the Jews in Morocco went over to the country they'd been waiting for so long. And in Morocco today, the Moroccans, 99% which is Muslim, celebrate their Jewish heritage. They're proud and they're thankful for it, and it's a culture that was built together. That was totally new for me, and it was very exciting. It was very inspiring. We were hiking up in the mountains a couple weeks ago, right near the epicenter of that tragic earthquake a couple months ago. And we saw this community working together to run to the aid of people who randomly were victims of some natural disaster. And they are rebuilding together. It's just to be able to travel and to be able to see that, and to see how their love was undaunted and how they were working together. And I was up there in the mountains, and I heard the call to prayer. We're in a remote corner of the Atlas Mountains, and the call to prayer, 5 times a day across the Muslim world. There is one God, and He is Allah. What does that mean? It means there's one deity. There's a lot of gods, lowercase g. There's one God with a capital G, and that is Allah. And Allah is simply the Arab word for God. There's a lot of little g gods, and there's one God, and He is Allah, and He is great. That's what the Sikhs, the Muslim, the Jews, the Christians in this room all embrace, and we have in common that beautiful notion of love your neighbor. We are children of the same Creator. And here tonight, we're celebrating the opportunity to make that mission of FAN powerful. Boy, I value this annual FAN gathering, and I value it especially now when you consider how fraught our world is, how fragile our world is, how needy our world is. Extremists seem to be running rampant around here, and extremists really work to cause people to work against each other. As an American Christian, I'm particularly concerned about a form of extremism called Christian nationalism. Oh man, there's Muslim nationalism, there's Jewish nationalism, there's Hindu nationalism, there's Christian nationalism. It's extremism. And it is easy to be caught up in that extremist goal. What does an extremist want to do? Using violence, misinformation, politics, and fear, they want to create more extremists. Extremism needs company. We are brothers and sisters of a loving God. We can respect each other. We can stand together. We can work for peace together. We can work for justice. That is something FAN can be proud of and can't underestimate the value of that in our community right now, what we're doing. Why do we travel? I think a lot about that because I promote travel. Fundamentally, travel to me is about connecting. And I just love to find little samples, little tidbits, little vivid examples of the beauty of connecting. I was just in Iceland, and right in front of that amazing Lutheran cathedral, there's a circular swing. Not a swing with parallel swings, but a circular swing where the kids all swing together and giggle and look at each other. In a land that is such a big family, they actually have a family tree on a website, so if you're getting serious about the woman or man you're dating, you can see how closely you're related before you let it get out of hand. There is a community that knows what togetherness is. A little later on that same trip, I was in Oslo, and there's a new site in Oslo, right in the harbor, right where the shrimp guy sells his shrimp off the back of the boat. There's the Nobel Peace Prize Center, because in Oslo they give the Nobel Peace Prize, and in front of it there's a bench shaped like a U. You cannot sit on that bench without sliding together. And in front of that, etched into the pavement, is a quote from Nelson Mandela: "Talking together is the best weapon." This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. That is so, to me, so powerful. It's our mission to raise our voices in unison in the halls of government so we can better love our neighbors. Now, we've just heard the amazing accomplishments that we've accomplished. You know, we are FAN. I don't want to belittle the people in the trenches that are doing all this, but together we have to think of ourselves as FAN. When you're going to write a check, you're writing a check to power you, the spirit of you, the who you are. A budget is a moral document, and it's ours as citizens of a great democracy. We have ownership of that. Economic justice, fighting hunger, access to health care, fair taxation, climate change, gun policy, stewardship of our environment. I believe legislators want to do what's right. I just insist on believing they're public servants, they want to do what's right, and they need to be encouraged and educated. That's what lobbying is. That's a good thing. Advocacy. Boy, oh boy. I'm all about budget tricks. You want a budget trick? Fund advocacy. You know, it's great to fund the charity down the street. Of course it's great. But if you really want to get right down and make a difference, think of what this mighty might FAN is doing. Think of the millions of dollars it's generating on $400,000 collective investment by all of the people that support it. It's a treasure. It's amazing to me. So this is what we're all about today. Advocacy, our values, love thy neighbor in Olympia. FAN, F-A-N, motivated by faith, we take action together as a network in our community. FAN gives our love traction. It gets results. Just, you know, I said what we've accomplished. Yes, we are celebrating what FAN does. It's not a charity, it's a service. As caring citizens of this state, we want our voices heard, and nobody can do that for us as people of faith like FAN. That's FAN's mission. So for me, supporting FAN is, in an interesting twist, kind of a selfish thing. I have a huge need for my Christian values to be heard in Olympia. It's correct for our legislators to know what's important to us. I also have a huge need as a person who's just out there in the community doing my basically exciting, selfish thing to support people whose careers are all about giving. There's so many people that choose to have a giving life, and there's not enough money from the rest of us to give them the gas in the tank to do what they're dedicating their lives to do. The least the rest of us can do is empower the people who have chose to have loving, giving careers to have the wherewithal to do what they want to do. So it's a blessing for somebody like me to help out. And this, again, is the most powerful way we can do it. Simply put, our values are FAN's priorities. And FAN gives us a voice in Olympia, and it gets results. Boy, I just want to thank all the people at FAN that do that work for us. And of course, I'd like to thank all of you year after year for coming together and making this celebration something that turns us all on, inspires us, connects us, and empowers FAN. So again, I'd like to match whatever we can offer tonight, up to $50,000, to empower FAN's work. Now, if you're maxed out, it's really important to remember we're already FAN heroes. We've generated a lot of money, we're here, we've raised money, we've done more than our share. But being here has an intangible value. It's more than just generating the money, it's that U-shaped bench. We're sitting together, we're breaking bread together, we're talking together, we're networking, we're inspiring each other, and we're gonna leave this place ready to take it to the streets. So, tonight's goal is pretty exciting. As you know, FAN's annual budget is a little less than $500,000. I work for a lot of organizations. I'm amazed. I mean, I work to support a lot of I'm amazed what FAN can do with its budget. And tonight, our goal is to raise about 1/3 of the annual budget. And, with my match, and if you meet my challenge, we're on the way. So, are you with me? All right. So, I want to just encourage you to dig as deep as you're comfortable digging, and I'm going to turn it back to Reverend Dr. Edward Donaldson to tell us exactly how to do that, okay? Thank you all. God bless you, and let's do it.
Thank you, Rick. Now, Rick let you off the hook. He said, you've already done enough. No. X that part out. It's your turn to help us raise some money tonight. Is that okay? It's time for you and me to contribute and help FAN move toward the next legislative session and all the ways that we're called to ensure change is indeed going to come this year. At each of your tables, there's a manila envelope. Inside the envelopes, there are pins to pass around so everyone at every level can pledge support to FAN. There are enough pins to go around at every table so that you can participate. Knowing that the cost of your ticket covers dinner, tech support, and all the amenities of our celebration, we invite you to contribute the rest of the work of FAN. Help keep our advocacy, trainings, regional organizings, presence in Olympia, communications, and updates going throughout the year. And here's how you can do it. I think somebody's going to play the piano while I do this part. I'm a Pentecostal preacher. I need music under. How you take an offering with no music? It's kind of dry. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good looking. All right, here's how you can give. You can give securely online with your cell phone. All you have to do is scan the QR code on the brochure at your table on the screen. There it is. Crank it up. There we go. Or you can type in bit.ly FAN donate right into your internet browser. The other way you can give tonight, if you're not feeling too comfortable with the cell phone thing, is you can write a good check. I love you, but I've been doing this a while. I'm going to need you to write a good check tonight and make a pledge with envelopes at your table. You can write on the envelope any monthly pledge in case you want to just be reminded on a monthly basis of the good work of FAN. You can write on that envelope, donor advised contribution or gift of stock you'd like to make. And please leave your contact information so that we can follow up with you. We heard you, Rick. We do advocacy because it is a way to give our faith traction, to build communities that we want to live in. How do we stretch our gift to keep FAN moving down the road? Your gift is needed to lift up faith voices such as Representative Ty and other policy champions that pass bills to make life better for hundreds of thousands of people across the state. This year, one successful bill made school meals available for 90,000 more children, and we are not stopping there. Let me tell you, the Working Families Tax Credit launched this year after successful years of advocacy to make cash available to 400,000 low-income families. That's right, let's celebrate that. That's amplifying our effectiveness and amplifying the impact of your dollars. Elise said our hope needs to be shared in order for it to continue to thrive. Your gift at any level helps share hope, and your gifts up to $50,000 will be matched tonight by Rick Steves. I think we can raise $200,000 easily. Take some time now to write your checks, make your gifts online. Consider how to amplify hope. Now, if I was in the church of my youth, the Grand Old Church of God in Christ, I would go table by table, person by person, and ask, and how much are you giving tonight? God bless you, baby. How much are you giving tonight, Sekou? God bless you, baby. We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to trust that you're motivated, inspired, encouraged, and delighted to give. We're looking forward to every contribution at every level. There is no contribution too great, and there is no contribution too small. Take some time now. Write your checks. When you're done, take a minute to write on one of those postcards at your table. Either a note to the governor about change you'd like to see, or a note of hope and support to those in our network who might need encouragement in the months ahead. Then put everything in the manila envelope, and we will deliver them for you. It's giving time. I love this. Bishop Bridgeforth is allowing me to feel like I'm back home in the Church of God in Christ. The Pacific Northwest Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church is going to be donating $5,000 tonight. Let's celebrate the United Methodist Church for such a generous donation. Thank you so much, Bishop. We'll give you a few more minutes to match the bishop's gift. Thank you so much for your kind giving. Thank you so much tonight to everyone here in Renton, Spokane, and online for showing your support. We don't have a final tally tonight, but we will share it with you in the weeks ahead. We're grateful for all the ways you amplify hope for us, and so we can be stronger together this year. Table hosts, please gather your envelopes and postcards, and we'll pick up your packets. Keep the pens. You'll need them to write your lawmakers in the days ahead. And please make sure someone at your table takes home the centerpiece, flower, so that our hope can continue to grow and be a reminder of tonight's event. Let's take a look at some of the amazing photos we've received from folks and folks at home, folks here in the room. We love seeing you across the mountains, valleys, and rivers of this great state we live in. For those of you who are at home, we'll leave the live stream open for a moment after we're done so you can say goodbye into the chat. Everyone in the room, will you turn to this camera this way and just wave goodbye with us to the amazing supporters who joined us virtually? Thank you so much. We love you. We celebrate you. Thank you for helping us keep our hope alive. As we call our performers back up to the stage to send us out, we know that there's no mighty mountain pass, no Columbia River and its tributaries that can divide us. We are a statewide movement, and we unite in hope. As our singers come to take us home together, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be your MC, and have an amazing night.
We invite you all to sing with us if you know the song. Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Just call my name, I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry, 'cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe.
Remember the day I set you free? I told you you can always count on me, darling. From that day on, I made a vow. I'll be there when you want me, some way, somehow.
Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe.
Oh, baby.
No wind, no rain, no rain. Oh, winter's cold can't stop me, baby.
Oh, baby.
'Cause you are my goal. I'll be there on the double.
Just send for me.
Oh, baby, my love is alive, way down in my heart. Although we are miles apart, if you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double just as fast as I can. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, babe. Don't you know that there